What we're doing tonight, in case you don't know, is we're having a lot of fun. We're going to show you a little bit of what the art park is and what we've done so far. And we're going to have a great time with Bread and Puppet Theater. Anybody come to see that show tonight, later on? Yeah, it's going to be a blast. That performance is going to happen up at Lowers Park, but before we do that, we want to make sure that we basically acknowledge those that have helped us build this park and talk a little bit about what we hope to do with it. So this is going to be a ribbon cutting. It's a lot of excitement for those of us that have been involved, and we hope for you in the community, because what I asked the other night, and I'll do it again, just time warp with me back to 2019, if you will. If you can remember, it was 5 years ago. My youngest son had just been born, Van. He's going to be out here tonight dancing and checking out these huge puppets. But we were about to, I think, embark on this journey of the pandemic. We just had a new mayor inaugurated, Eddie Moran. I think his administration is here tonight. And we were thinking at GoggleWorks a lot about what we could do differently, how we could engage the community in new ways. And out of the doors in the alleyway there stepped a young girl named Maria, and she asked a question: why is there no art out here? Well, today there is. There's art out here. And that may seem like a small thing if you haven't been involved in the last 5 years. And trust me when I say, I know that sounds like a long time. Mr. Marlon Miller, who's going to come up in a second, give him a hand. He's one of our founding fathers here at GoggleWorks. He said, isn't this taking a long time? And you're right, it has taken a long time, and there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, it was that we wanted to co-design this project with our community. We knew that for too many projects we've done, let's build it and they will come, or hey, we've got an idea, let's throw some money into this building. And we wanted this to be more than just a building project. We wanted this to be about safe spaces, comfort, beauty, security, but ultimately about the way that art infects and gets into each one of us. And right around that time that Maria stepped out of those doors, we were also talking to Johannes Cepeda Freites, our state representative, who's going to come up in a minute too. And she was saying, we were asking about this food festival we wanted to do inside, and she said, why don't you go outside? And we're like, well, what do you mean? Have you noticed when you guys do events outside, or when anyone in the community does that, there's so many more people that you don't normally see, and there's a community around the walls of GoggleWorks that you're not engaging. And we knew that to be the case, but we were always kind of getting jammed up on how we could engage that community. And this project is our way of doing that. So over the last 5 years, we went through a process of talking to our neighbors, learning as much as we could, following a process set by some of our partners like Barrio Alegria, who just get out and talk to the neighbors and get out and talk to those stakeholders and others in your community you might not often hear from. And so now we are actually embarked in a year-long process of community planning, and our vice president, our vice chair, Edvard, is going to come up and talk about that in a little bit too. But I just wanted to welcome you and say thank you so much to those of you that are here tonight. While I'm finishing talking, if you don't mind, if you're one of our state or local representatives, if you don't mind coming up and joining Marlon here, I've asked some of you to make some remarks. You've done so much for this project. I'm going to introduce each one of you individually. You don't have to hold your puppet while you talk. But I definitely want to acknowledge you, both as a group and individually, because you've done so much for this project. I'll just talk about these again as they come up to kind of drive home the support. And again, I understand that some of this sounds like an Oscar speech, or you're thanking this and you're thanking them, but you're talking about a lot of hours of planning, hard work, hours of design, fundraising, and it just is incredible to see this support. So we'll ask you guys to hang tight for a minute. If you need to put your puppets down, you can do so, and that's true for you in the audience too. It looks great. We're going to get a great shot when we cut the ribbons, but if you get tired, we understand if you have to set it down for a minute. But before we get to these incredible community representatives, I want to invite up Mr. Marlon Miller, our founding father here tonight, to say a few words.
Well, it's really great to see this group here. There aren't too many of you who know what this looked like 20 years ago. Tom McMahon, who I saw back there, certainly knows, because he's the guy way back there that suddenly one day the people who were, making sunglasses here, along with the goggles and so forth, walked into his office and said, "We're leaving town. Here are the keys to this place." And poor Tommy didn't know what to do about it because suddenly we were losing, one of the employers and so forth and so on. Well, to make a long story short, Al Boskov and I had some discussion off and on about what it would really do for the community if we could really develop a strong arts community here, where people learn how to do creative things themselves and really enjoyed that as part of their life. And so we said, can we really do this or can we do this? And then we got Mr. Cohen involved as well. And so we took the keys from Tom. We said, we'll give it a try. And, after many years of work and so much support from so many people here in the community, we have what we have here tonight. And I think it's just terrific what Levi and Sandy and the leadership of the organization are doing right now in terms of bringing this forward for our whole community, with lots more to come. So it's a great evening. Glad to see you all here, and just keep supporting this place.
Thank you so much, Warren. I'm right here. I snuck in behind you. If it's not apparent, the work that Marlon and Mr. Boskov and Irv did almost 20 years ago has impacted this city tremendously. We welcome 250,000 visitors through our doors. Many of them are school children or others who take classes here. We do outreach programs. We'll talk more about that as we go through the night. But I want to continue on our way to tell you a little more about the art park. And there's no better person to bring up to do that than Sandy Solomon, our board chair and the committee chair for this great park. Give her a hand, Sandy Solomon.
Hi, I'm just going to hand a flag to my grandson. I'll be right back.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I'm just so happy to see everybody here. Thank you. And how do you like it? Beautiful! So, okay. Let's see what I got. So, first of all, I've got a lot of words here, and I really wanted to talk about the nature of the process and how we created this incredible space. And, when we started out, and it seemed like a huge pipe dream, but I think you can see that with perseverance and the feeling that the community really wanted it, that the community really needed this, we were highly motivated to make this happen. And the design of the GoggleWorks Art Park began, as every great project does. We had a problem to solve. Our design challenge, how to transform the grounds here into a welcoming space. The buildings are rectangular. There was no place to sit. We wanted to make the community feel welcome. We wanted to beckon you in and create places to perch that were comfortable, beauty around you that told you what was going to happen when you walked in. Signs of how special this place was that invited, beckoned you inside. And also gave you your third place out here. So knew we wanted to create beautiful park-like gardens, outdoor benches, a welcoming living room for our neighborhood and community, and one that beckoned you in and said, okay, I'm going to try my hand at the art in this building. And soon, something wonderful to eat and a place you could linger. And this is yours. And I go back to this fact that at the GoggleWorks, we all know that the process of creating art is one of the most natural forms of human expression. And at the earliest of our ages, our kids dance, sing, and create art with joy. And it's not necessarily when you're young about how good you are, but it's about the doing. It's about how it makes us feel in the moment and being in the moment when everything else shuts down and you're concentrated. Somewhere along the line, we lose that freedom of expression. At the GoggleWorks, we want to reignite that feeling and discover its power to transform our sense of self, and in some cases, life's trajectory. And I really mean that in the sense of our broader community. So our team set out with the goal to soften the geometry of the site with curves and circles. And as happens, the geometry took on a much larger meaning for all of us on the design team as the design unfolded. And I'll give you like a little preamble. The circle is a universal symbol of wholeness, of unity, of purpose, and of timelessness. And maybe that's why it has resonated so deeply with everyone as they inhabit the space. And I don't know how many of you know, but there's a very famous, iconic image from Da Vinci, and it's called the Vitruvian Man. And if you look at, you'll see the man, there's two men in it, with their hands out, their feet, and he's in a circle. His hands and feet touch the circle, and then he's also in a square. And it symbolizes the spiritual and secular perfection of man, woman, of all of us as humans. And it's a microcosm of the universe, of that perfect universe that we inhabit. And that image is still revered 500 years later. So how do we take these geometric shapes? So I would like you all to look down, because we're right here, and across the ground. It's pretty crowded right now. And you can see there's wide, perfect, but just parts of the circle that stretch across. And in each circle, you'll see rectangles and fans and squares. And they're broken up in a very purposeful and artistic way. And I'd like you to take time to understand and look at the complexity and sort of wind into that feeling of what we've created here. And it's all about the unity that we're experiencing today across an entire community. So thank you all for being here. And we collaborated closely with an amazing team of designers. They're designers that worked with me at Sweet Street and at my home in over 30 years, and there was a tremendous level of trust among everybody. And it's only with that level of trust and commitment that a project of this size and complexity can be built. Now, how many art projects, true art projects, paintings have been created in the landscape in this town? So we have a number of them that are here today, but many couldn't make it. But from Dolan Construction, who'd never worked on a project like this, we have the project manager, Jared. Are you here? Honestly, we sort of felt alone at this when we started, but one day Jared came in to the GoggleWorks with his wife and his kids, and he was showing off the project. And I had to walk away. I was so moved that he actually got it. So it's very exciting. I have Lou Mascotti here, who worked on the bar and the stage. And I'm trying to think who else is here today. And Scott, if you go into the cafe and you look at these incredible fixtures, all of which are for sale right off the bar. Scott, where are you? Scott, come on, just come forward a little. Scott is an incredible artist. He runs the Hot Glass Studio and has done that for many years. And it really made the space to have that cacophony of color and light. And very excited to share this all with you. And soon, in the near future, we'll have a working restaurant and a beautiful Thorn Alley, so there's a lot to come. And finally, I'm hoping all of you come here and enjoy the space, make these beautiful puppets, paint with Mike Miller, work on murals, take classes, and support us by coming in and participating. Thank you, everybody.
Sandy didn't get to tell you her role in this, which was incredible. Not only leading the board, but leading that design team. And this is, again, a community vision, but definitely one that existed in her mind as we brought it to life. So thank you, Sandy, for all your hard work. If you're on the board of directors here at GoggleWorks, do you mind just raising your hand to signify your support? I apologize, but your support here has been incredible, and I'm so thankful for having a board that understands the power of a project like this. And equally, if you're on the staff here at GoggleWorks, will you just raise your hand? And then some of you are hiding in the back there. Thank you, Katana, Margaret, Jamie, Jesse. I see many of you, Tiana. Thank you all for your support. I got choked up talking about them the other night because their commitment is day to day. It's extraordinary. Nights and weekends and no shortage of time put into helping design and build projects like this, but all the programs that fill them. And if you've never been to a GoggleWorks class or a tour or one of the things that we do here, please give Emily a call. Give one of these guys a call, because they're going to show you an incredible time. Talk to Bree in this studio here in the ceramic studio. Talk to Scott in the hot glass studio, because what we have here is more than a building. It's more than materials that you can touch and feel. It really is about transforming hearts and minds. And what happens when you make something is you literally take what's inside of you and you pull it out. And sometimes it surprises you, sometimes it overwhelms you, sometimes it just infuriates you and provokes you. But it almost always ends up transforming you in some small way. And when we do it together, it's extremely meaningful and important. I've asked a few more people before we ask our great representatives to come speak, and one of them was Edvard Philipson, our vice chair. Edvard, if you don't mind coming saying a few words.
Good evening. It's so exciting to be here. Buenas noches. Bonne nuit, because also in Creole, it's we're having more and more residents from Haiti. I wanted to remember what is our mission. GoggleWorks, we transform lives through unique interactions with art. Presently, I'm teaching a innovations class, an entrepreneurship class at RAC, and I think a lot about how art is now part of STEAM. Art is the ability to create, to relax, to think in a different way. And hopefully this space creates that. Innovation, transformation, a way to embody all of our community. I moved here recently, only 2 years ago, but I've felt so welcome here in this community, with the staff, and this place is just magnificent. Levi asked me to tell you a little bit about the Neighborhood Task Force, and we want to make sure we build those bridges we make a community, a diverse community. So soon we're going to be doing a survey to understand how can we incorporate everybody into this space. And as it was told, come enjoy it. It's for all of us, and it's just wonderful to be here. So thank you, enjoy, and congratulations to everybody.
Thank you, Edvard. And I'd like to now turn our gaze to these fine people beside me. As I said, I could talk for hours about each one of their commitment, but I'll just briefly say a few words as I invite them up. First here, we're going to ask our city representatives, among them Councilman Chris Miller and Council Chair Donna Reed. Give them a hand. The city has been supportive of this project in addition to the mayor's office. And I don't know if Maritza's hiding out. She's here too from the mayor's office. She's on our board. She should be up here too. It's incredible what the city has done, not only in helping us with pushing through all the permitting, and I mean, when I say that, helping us understand what that meant and keeping this space safe and compliant, but also gifting $500,000 of ARPA funding for the project. So for that, we're extremely grateful. Chris, Donna, do you mind coming up and saying a few words?
Make sure I go up with that.
I bet that's the first time you've ever had to hand off a bamboo puppet.
Yeah, that man did it first. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's so great to be here. Two things come to my mind when I think of the GoggleWorks, among many things, but two primary things. One is the opening evening in 2005, am I correct? 2005. Mayor Tom, is that right? 2005. What a lovely night, Judy. I think you were here. Jahani, I'm not sure if you were here, but I know our late colleagues, Jeff and John, were here with us, and it was just a delightful night, and we knew that this was the start of something very big. It seemed big at that time, but compared to now, wow. And also a couple years ago, sitting with Levi in his office facing 2nd Street, and I was in my capacity as a writer for Berks County Living, and interviewing Levi about what was going to come here. And he was showing me drawings, and you know, we talked, and I think the article appeared in 2022. And it's one thing to see drawings, it's one thing to write a narrative, but to actually be here and see it come to fruition. So I feel very lucky that I've been able to be a part of this from the days of Mayor Tom. And Mayor Tom, why don't you come up too? Come on, you can do it. Because the keys might have been handed to Mayor Tom, but Mayor Tom made this a key part of the city of Braddock. So Mayor Tom, thank you. I know Chris is going to say a few words, and then hopefully we can have you say a few things as well. But again, thank you everyone for being here. This is really the heart of the city, and art will bring this city back. So thank you.
This is an incredible evening to be here. I was standing here and thinking about back when the Wilson Safety Products closed, and nobody was quite sure what to do with this building. It was old, it was large. There was a conversation about demolishing it, just to have an empty lot, or maybe find a different use for this site. And luckily there were people who had vision and had the foresight to realize that this building could be something totally different than what it had started out with, building safety products for the world. And so they came forward and they said, what if we could create a space where creativity is alive and spreads out into the community? And so that's the beginning of the GoggleWorks. And I want to make a point to thank those people for having the vision. But along the way, there were many, many more people who came along, including the artists who built the building, and including people who supported the project, and including people like Sandy Solomon who said, let's take it to the next level. And so what happened was the energy and the creativity that filled this building is now starting to flow outside into the community and into the neighborhood. The art park is so incredible for the fact that it's sort of now created the the middle ground that was missing for so long between the community and inside the building. So I just want to say, well, one thing I really want to say is when I think about that this could have been an empty lot, and I stand here and I look out and see all these puppets and all the creativity and energy in the crowd, it shows that things moved in the right direction because of the right people. So thank you all for being here. I am very proud to see this happening in the city of Reading.
As Chris said, this was slated to come down. It was slated for demolishing. And I said, that can't really happen. We have been looking for a place for an art center for a while. Many of you have been up to the banana factory in Bethlehem. Anybody's been there to see that? We went to the banana factory, we saw what they were doing. We said, why? We've got to do something like this in Reading. Then we went down to Alexandria, Virginia, to the torpedo factory. Everything seems to be a factory, you know? And then they gave us a little document that says, here's how you start an organization like this. Cost us $50. And then we went out to Pittsburgh to the mattress factory, again. But the guy that made this all happen from day one, and I want to recognize and have a moment to think about the impact that Albert Boskoff had on this facility.
Yay, Mr.
Albert was the dreamer like we've never had before, and maybe never see again. And it was Albert that drove this and made it happen, along with Irv and Marlon and many others that did it. But it was Albert whose idea was not, you couldn't stop him. Everybody knew Albert. You couldn't stop him, right, Judy? And he made it happen, and so we're very proud to be here. But thank you all for coming. And Levi, thank you so much for, where's Levi go? He's in the back. He's rubbing my back. Speaking, he's on my back. He's on my back. But he's made it all happen. He's been a fantastic leader. So I welcome him, and thank you all for being here.
Thank you to the city's continued leadership here at GoggleWorks. Now we turn our gaze to the state. The state of Pennsylvania has been tremendous support for us. Not only did we receive support from the SPP, which is from the Department of Community and Economic Development, to build this very part of the project, but we just received the largest grant in the state to design and plan for phase 2. And that is just an incredible achievement because what we're trying to do with this project is really test out how are people going to use it? What are puppets going to look like in that space? How are people going to think about themselves and their city in this space? But then look to other parts of the city that are neglected, namely a gravel lot that's just on the other side of our campus. And we believe that by reshaping these spaces, I mean, this was a loading dock. There's one still here, but there used to be 3 more there, and now it's a film theater. And this used to be the loading dock area, even until after we opened our doors, until literally yesterday when Jared opened this thing up for us. And the spot on the alley that we're going to reconstruct is going to be an 85-person venue, a beautiful music venue, performances, theater venue, and that's going to open in the spring. The restaurant, that used to be right outside the Burke's Launchbox. That was where they ground one of the Gandhi's iconic lenses in that space. There's an incredible amount of history, but that history has left this gap, right? And in the state of Pennsylvania, folks like Representative Judy Schwank, Representative Johanny Cepeda-Fertiz have said, we want art, we want creativity, we want life to come and fill those spaces. This is literally the Reading Railroad that's coming in, and it used to be coal that they would pick up from there and burn in that boiler room. That's a hot glass studio now. It's incredible to see what art can fill in physical spaces, but they believe in what art can do to fill our personal spaces too. So where we have this gap that's left by manufacturing jobs that we lost and all that comes with that, the psyche, you feel it every day in the city, and yet there's champions like them that are saying across Pennsylvania, not here. We're going to make this a place where fun and vibrant color fills our spaces. So would you both mind coming up and saying a few words?
Senator, would you like to go first? Sure. Awesome. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone feeling this evening? Exciting. I'm Johanny Cepeda-Fertiz, State Representative representing the 129th Legislative District. And, I want to just share a little bit about my history with GoggleWorks, because I arrived here in 2007, and I was amazed by this art facility then. And I also want to thank former Mayor Atomic Man, who continues to serve on the board, because he gave my restaurant, Mi Casa Su Casa, an opportunity. And I remember being in that cafe area. I wish it looked that way then, but it's okay, no hard feelings, no, just kidding. So he gave us an opportunity, right, to showcase our food, to spread culture through our food, because obviously food is also an art form that fills our tummy. But furthermore, you know, my children, I remember, got an opportunity one summer to do a week of summer camp. I don't know if you knew that, Levi, it was before your time. But when Levi arrived, because I've seen GoggleWorks go through transformations, and I remember while being in the space, a lot of people said, oh, when GoggleWorks started, it was so vibrant. There was a lot of music, there was a lot of entertainment. And I feel like when I was here and kind of like towards the end of my tenure here and when Levi arrived, I felt like GoggleWorks was dying. Like the light was dying. And I'm just like, well, what's going on? Right? Because in my life, like in my experience, art saves lives. Art has the power to definitely transform community, to impact community, to stimulate community, to inspire and motivate community, right? Because art is a form by which everyone can express themselves. You express your sorrow, your pain, your joy, your success, your troubles, your tribulations, your journey. And so for me, when I left then, and I remember always kind of like, I think I always was, I screamed at Levi a lot. Sorry, Levi. And you know, because I know the power that art has to really make a difference in our community. And I am just so grateful to Levi for sticking it out, to the board, to the champions that you have that supported and that worked on this vision as a collective to bring this building and to bring art back to life. And I'm super excited for this art park, for what we are engaging in this evening, because we have an opportunity for community to really come together and to have an exchange, a cultural experience, to get to know one another on that human level, as art can help do. And so I won't keep talking, I'm sorry, I'm just like beyond excited about the future that I see here, the future that we are creating as we stand here, right? Because this not only will impact community through the visual and everything else I said, but it will also be an economic engine that will help revitalize the city of Reading, that is going to be the new niche, the new reason why people want to work, live, and play here. So again, thank you to the GoggleWorks team, to Levi, to the board, to the staff, to the community, to the city, to everyone, to my partner who I love and enjoy working with, Senator Schwank, for believing in what art can do in this mission and purpose. And thank you all for being a part of this. And let's continue to spread the word, because I literally want to go door to door and bring people outside of their homes to experience just this, right? So thank you so much, and let's keep enjoying art.
Thank you, Johanny. Good things take time, don't they? Everybody who has come up has talked a little bit about their history and how this whole project began and where it has come to today. I was a county commissioner when we first took state dollars and put them forward. I have a picture of myself at home, actually, and it's got Mike Opaque, Senator Mike Opaque, Albert Boskov, some of the other county commissioners there, the Redevelopment Authority, and we were handing checks, and I was standing there with one of those big plastic checks. So I so remember how excited we were then that something great was going to happen. And it has taken time for things to continue to evolve. But thankfully, we've got leaders who get it, that it just can't be the big guys, you know, the people with the checks that make these things happen. It has to be the community, too, that really decides that they want to be a part of this. And I don't know if you've noticed, but as this project has really, you know, ramped up over the summer months, the neighborhood's starting to look a lot better, too. People are taking pride. We've got Lowers Park up there, and the kids are coming down into this area. That's exactly what needs to happen here. This has to be not just an addition to the community, but the community, the biggest part of the community. What a center. All of us would love to be able to live around something like this and to be able to interface with art as we chose to go to the theater, to work in the glass studio, whatever it may be. There's so many opportunities here. So I'm excited to see it. It's an evolution, right? Like I said, good things take time. But where will we be later? I know that so much more is going to come of this project. And I too, as I look out and I see Sandy there, Sandy, you've been a driving force in making this go forward where we are today. Thank you so much. And talk about perseverance. That woman has it. Sandy, thank you again for all you have done. Levi, for helping to make these things happen. The board, and so many of the funders and others who stepped up to the plate. Some unsung heroes who said, this is a good thing for our community. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it alive, and we're going to allow it to grow. And one more thing I'm going to ask you to do. As a gardener, I want to make sure you look at the lovely plantings around here as well. So our nature is a part of this as well, and I expect that that will continue to evolve as the seasons change too. So much more to come here, and I'm excited about it. Thank you so much for letting me be here long enough to be able to be a part of this project. Can't wait for what comes next.
Thank you to our state reps. They've been incredible supporters. And now we turn our gaze to the county, and we have Commissioner Dante Santucci here. Thank you so much for coming. The county also supported, and Derek Harris is here too. Thank you, Derek. The county also supported this project through a grant through the ARPA of dollars, $500,000, and have been a tremendous support, showing us data that they collect from folks that come in and out of our doors, and just being supportive of all the work that we do, especially in placemaking through their Imagine Berks plan. So, Commissioner Dante, do you mind saying a few words?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I think I'm the last speaker before we cut the ribbon and have all the festivities. So I will be brief. As Levi said, I'm County Commissioner Dante Santoni, and I am new to the board, fairly new. I took office in January. Not new to the political world here in Reading and Berks County, but new to the board. So full disclosure, I don't want to take too much credit for the money. It was done before I came into office. So I want to give a shout out to my colleagues, Commissioners Leinbach and Rivera, for their help. Former Commissioner Kevin Barnhart, who I know was very involved in the project. My predecessor, who's here as well, new President and CEO of GRCA, Lucine Sahelnik. Lucine was very instrumental. And I also want to give a special shout out to Derek Harris, our Economic Development Coordinator, who did a lot of the work. And of course, the staff makes us all look so good. So this is a wonderful, wonderful project. I served in the legislature. Some of you know that, some of you don't. When this first opened in 2005, so I was participating back then. And then I left and was away from the political world for 11 years. And people would always ask me, what do you miss? And this is the kind of thing that I miss. These kind of events where the community comes together, the private sector, government, nonprofits, everybody works together to make our communities so much better and so vibrant and so full of life. So this is great for all of us, for the city of Reading, for the county of Berks, and I'm so very proud and pleased to play a little bit of a role in the success, and I look forward to many more chapters in this book. Thank you very much.
I'll take one exception with what Commissioner said, which is I just want to invite two more people up to say a few words, and they're neighbors of ours, because we've been talking a lot about the community, and it is great, all the support that you all have offered us. But when we think about the work we're doing these days, it's not only what we can do for the students that we welcome in and the visitors we welcome in, but what can we do with and for our neighbors. And so I have asked Mike Toledo, the CEO of the Centro Hispano, if you don't mind saying a few words, and Principal Lopez, if you don't mind saying a few words. I know it's a lot, we've heard a lot of talking, but the reason we want to hear voices like this from our representatives and our neighbors is because what we're doing here is creating civic dialogue, right? It's like you might be tired of hearing the words, but what the words do is they give life to what we're doing. And so in the same way we make things with our hands, we make things with our words, and our ideas become things. Everything around you here was an idea, right? That fish was someone's idea. I bet it's one of yours. And this stonework was someone's idea. These lights that are now lighting up were someone's idea. And these two have ideas that are getting diffused into this neighborhood, and it's compelling and exciting. And we hope that this space, in addition to the space up at the school and over at the Centro Hispano, can be areas that we see connection, not only with this park as a center, but as connection between programs. And so I'd love for you to just say a few words about the work that you're doing.
Hi, thank you. On behalf of Lowers Park, we're just really excited that we're having this addition right within the backyard of our community, and it adds to our Lowers Park community, our children. More than anything, if you listen to our families, what they talk about is that they want safe spaces. And you know what makes safe spaces? Beautiful spaces. And how do we get beautiful spaces? Is by adding that artwork, and it just creates that ownership and that wanting to keep this community looking vibrant and beautiful. And I know that this is what it's gonna do. And I know that there's more expansion, and that just brings hope to our kids, to our families. And these are spaces that then they can enjoy and they will protect, and that is what is gonna keep them safe. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Levi. You know, Albert Boskov invested so much in this community and invested so much down here. A short story, when I started the Hispanic Center, Albert came to see me and said, Mike, the Latino community needs a new home, and I want to help you get there. Now, at that time, we had no money. We couldn't do anything. I think I might have been the first person, the only person to ever say, no, Albert, we can't do anything just yet. But he said, you know what? When the time comes, we will help you. And here we are 14 years later, and as a neighbor of the GoggleWorks, we are at 25 North 2nd Street, and Albert's statue sits right in front of the Hispanic Center as a testament to his impact and his legacy that continues to live with us. So, but in terms of partnerships and collaborations, we are so excited to be partnering with the GoggleWorks. We are working on plans to provide services and classes for the seniors that come to the Hispanic Center, where we have one of the largest senior centers in the state. About 100 to 140 seniors daily come for program and services. And when I sat down with Levi and Rachel to talk about what could we do to enhance programming and services for our seniors, Levi said, bring them to the GoggleWorks. Let's get them an opportunity to experience art in a different way. So again, we're just excited about the opportunities. Again, it's about breaking down barriers of access. If we're not about breaking down barriers of access, then why are we here? And that's a true testament of the GoggleWorks, of our greater Reading community, and we're so happy to be a part of that. So thank you all for your commitment. Again, we all have a role to play. It's just a matter of how we execute on it. Thank you.
Jasmine, Mike, thank you both. I see so many partners out there. I could go on and on inviting you all up. If you're an artist or a maker, will you just raise your hand so we can thank you for everything you do? Thank you. I see studio artists here that have studios in this building, folks that work outside, renters in our studios, Suzanne and her lovely students who made some of this work, the Bread and Puppet folks. All of these musicians, poets, artists, makers, they're going to reshape this city. Mark my words. They're going to continue to revive and revitalize this city. Not in the institutional ways, not in the big, splash a bunch of money at something, but in the ways that are meaningful and individual and seep into the cracks of every crevice of the city. I've seen it happen. It brings so much joy to my heart to see it happen. I thank you for everything that you've done to do that. I'm going to invite you all to come up here. We're going to pull the ribbon across. If we could just let the press come over this way a little bit. If anyone in the crowd that wants to come on this side and be a part of the photo, we're going to have to, Rachel will arrange us a little bit because we have a little bit of work to do to stage this. We just want to cut this thing once and for all. People have been waiting to walk through this gate to get access to this building for quite some time, and we want to do this properly. So as we do that, I do want to thank our sponsors, Lindenwald Advisors, for helping to sponsor this evening. Give them a hand. Lindenwald has been a great supporter. And Suzanne Fellows and her crew that made some of these great works. And then just a reminder that as we gather and before we walk up, we're going to be doing a parade up to Lowers Park. Everybody ready for that? This school is one of the coolest schools that you'll find in the country. I mean, if you've never been on a tour inside, whew, those kids are great, the spaces are great, it's really incredible. But we're going to get to go on the outside today and watch Brad and Puppet bring it to life. So that's going to be a lot of fun. If you want to, we don't have food up there. So make sure you grab some food from the food truck, carry it up with you before you go up. We've got some time so you can order and wait for your food. All right, Rachel's going to get us ready for this ribbon. You guys ready? It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you one more time to our friends at the GRCA, the Chamber Alliance, for helping us bring these mighty scissors and this ribbon out for us. Thank you. We give these to Sandy Solomon to cut this thing.
Go, Sandy, go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, thanks everybody for coming. Make sure you stick around for the Bread and Puppet. They're going to be starting just up at the school at Lowers Park. You'll be able to follow us up the road. Make sure you get some food here, okay? Thank your artists and board members and those around you, the representatives, for everything they did to help make this a reality. This is your art park. Don't forget that. You can call this home.
This is your design.
We're going to put these outside the door when we go into the school. Sure. A couple tarps.
Oh, okay.
And people can, we're not carrying these inside.
Okay.
But you can kind of point a good spot where we should do that. I don't know, when are people walking out? Soon? Okay. So I'll follow you.
Don't go through.
Eventually, yeah.
Everything's going to the park now. Yes! Let's do it! You guys want to follow mine?
We need one person to help take this large fish up to Bread and Puppet. If you're interested, come and see me.
Come on, who wants it? With his drink. Like my plan.
Yeah, well, we did a
I didn't need it. Well, I'm gonna get going. It's nice to see you. Yeah.
Check out the puppet show. I hear it's like Are you holding the puppet?